Hello, everyone. Welcome or welcome back. We have power. This is a great thing. And we are ready to do our Facebook Live on upcycling denim for back to school. I've got a few cool things to show you and a few free projects to recommend. And then there's some premium ones too, but we'll get you covered. The first thing I wanted to show you is a backpack that I have made. I made this backpack previously, and then so it's small, it's cute, but it's pretty floppy. It doesn't have a lot of structure, and so it's not as useful as I thought it should be. I decided to make it again out of denim. I'm very excited to show you. So this was quilted in the hoop, and I am going to show you something that I forgot to do and how to fix it, because I have heard this question a lot. Let me switch my camera so you can see the screen of my Designer Epic 3, and we're going into embroidery mode. Okay, so here's the design, and here are my stitch outs. You can see they are two different colors, but I actually used the same thread on top and in the bobbin for both. I used a lavender on top. Actually, what color is it? It is tulip. I used tulip on the print side and blue ribbon on the denim side. But when we zoom in, we can see this side, you can see that it's tulip. And this side, all you can see is the blue ribbon color. If you look real close, you can see some spots of tulip. But the blue ribbon really pulled to the back in this. Why? Because in embroidery mode, the top thread does pull to the back a little bit. That's what makes our fill stitch embroideries lay nice and flat, have clean edges. But when we're doing quilting, we want the tension, we want it to be the same on top and bottom, just like we're in sewing mode. So what we need to do is turn off the deluxe stitch system, and then we can adjust our tension. We can do that a couple of ways. If I was going to stitch this out, I would press stitch out, and I can scroll here again. Deluxe stitch system is checked, which means it's on. So I'm going to touch it. The check mark goes away. Now the deluxe stitch system is turned off. I'm going to touch apply, and it will move into stitch out mode. Now I can open stitch out progress here and see where this usually says thread portioning. Now it says thread tension. I experimented a little bit with this. You can see, nope, not that one, this one. You can see a couple places where I started, some blue was still showing through. It ended up in like right here, just a little bit. I was playing with the tension to see what tension was going to work best. On this particular stitch out, thread tension of 3.2 worked the best. So I turned off the deluxe stitch system, and I adjusted the thread tension, and now my stitches are balanced even in embroidery mode. It's important to remember, once you're done with that and you're going to still stitch out something with fill stitches, you'll need to turn it back on. And here it is right at the top. Now it's back on. So we're ready to do some fill stitches. Let's go back to sewing mode. We're not going to do any fill stitches on this project. The rest is sewing. So my bottom panel here, this bottom panel here, I thought it would be better and more structured if I used denim. So here's the denim and my print fabric. See that channel stitching? I'm pretty proud of it. Normally, I don't sew quite this straight all by myself, but thanks to the grid, we can make this happen. So let me just show you real quick here. All we have to do is turn on the projector, and this one here, and then turn on the grid. Now, if you look under my needle, zoom in here, see if I can. There. That shows pretty good for me. So what I did was I stitched the first line, and then I moved it over and lined it up with the grid and stitched the second line, and then moved it over and lined up with the grid and stitched the third line, on and on until it was all covered. Let's get back over here. And bring this out so you can see the whole screen again. Cool. I have one other project on hand that I did with channel stitching. This little box bag, this mini bag. This is a project from Creative 8 that you can do your channel stitching on. It's super quick and easy. I love that about the Designer Epic 3, the projector and grid. So now I'm going to turn projection off. And one of the wonderful things about our Husqvarna Viking is that we have the Joy OS Advisor. So if we touch the home button and then down here at the bottom, we have the Joy OS Advisor. This helps us get a good start when we're sewing different fabrics and techniques. I made this little coin purse pocket. It's a pocket made out of a pocket. Haha. It's got a zipper in it. It's got a cute lining. I will choose yes here. Okay. So to do this was pretty thick. There's a lot of seams here, and then I added a zipper, and I put lining through all that thickness. I think I touched something wrong. Okay. So for our fabric, we want woven, and then this is heavy. And I missed the part where we choose seam. Sewing, woven, heavy, and then seam. All right. This automatically sets our stitch width, our stitch length, and our tension. If we had put in woven medium, instead of 3.0, it would say 2.5. And then we get some directions here. If this is the first time we have ever sewn a seam, this will give us an overview of what we need to do. We are pretty good on that. So 3.0. And then the other thing you need is recommending a 90 needle. And we definitely want to use a denim needle. Why? Because they are thicker and have a sharper point. Let's see if I can zoom in here enough. So while that is a 90, I should compare. I have an 80 as well. I will hold them both up and you can see. Some of you folks who've been sewing for a long time already know this, but some of us haven't sewed much with denim before. So this will be helpful. Okay, I've got them both in my hand. The one on top, this is an 80, and this is a 90. Can you see how much thicker that 90 is? It's kind of amazing. You might not be able to see with the naked eye, but you'll be able to feel it. I can see it with the naked eye because I've been sewing for a while. And so some of you are like, oh yeah. All right. I'm going to put those back so I don't lose them. We do not want needles rogue on the floor. Okay. So that is the backpack and the pocket. I don't know if you can tell, but I even stitched, I stitched through here. That's a lot of thickness. But since our machine has extra lift and piercing power, we can go through that. It's okay. It's a little bit hard to get it under there. Oh, let me turn this just a little more. But it will go under there. If you're struggling, you can use press your foot up. Not only does it raise this higher, it drops the feed dogs as well. So you can really get under there. There we go. And we can sew away. This one's already done, so I'm not going to stitch it right now, but you get the idea. This machine has 150 newtons of piercing power, which is a huge jump from previous machines. Like the Topaz has 90 newtons of piercing power. So that makes this machine pretty special to have the ability to go through so much more thickness. And the Topaz is a great machine. We all love the Topaz. But what a difference. Okay, now I am going to show you this jacket I thought would be so cute for field trips. My roommates' kids, you know, they never want to wear a jacket. But I thought maybe if I make it cute, they'd be more likely. So this is ribbon embroidery. You can do this on any of the Epic Series machines or the Designer Ruby 90. There are two different embellishment attachments so you can use. The Designer embellishment attachment, which does ribbon, yarn, pearls, beads, rhinestones, or the ribbon embroidery, which just does ribbon. And that one, the ribbon embroidery can be used on all of the Epics plus the Designer Ruby 90. The creative embellishment attachment just works on the Epic 2 and 3. So if you have any of those machines, you're in luck. You can do this part. Well, you can do this part too. This is embroidery. This is fill stitching. And the design originally started out looking like this, but I thought that was too small for the yoke of the jacket. I wanted to space it out. So I went into the software. I removed the beads and the crowns. I separated the frogs and just spaced them out. And then I also took it into Stitch Editor, which is available on the Elite version of Creative 8. And I added trim commands. So where previously we had all these extra threads. Come around here. See all these extra threads. I hate trimming those. So I had the software do it for me. You just go into Stitch Editor, and there's a button that says automatically remove trim commands. You press that, and out of this whole thing, it removed like 32 trim commands. It was awesome. So I don't have all of these trimmies anymore to take out. Okay. So for the fill stitching, I had to remember to turn the DSS back on, the deluxe stitch system. That way my top stitches would be nice and balanced. See how smooth that edge is? And we get these little teeny satin circles. That is thanks to the DSS. Yay, thank you, DSS. Okay, next I want to show you. Sorry, I'm going a little fast. We're trying to get done by about 4 here. I have got a pair of jeans that I was working on. You know what, I think I'll bring it back over here to where the frog is. Let me just move this stuff out of the way and show you these jeans. Throwback. Some of you remember Gerbeau jeans from way back in the 90s. I've put rickrack along the sides. I've added some patches. I've done some edge stitching. And there's more to do. There's some patches on the back. So these were for my sister. And this piece of fabric right here is a scrap from her baby blanket. So I hope she's not watching. It's a surprise, but she loves this baby blanket. So that's going to be fun. I am also going to use the free arm let me show you. I'm going to put some embroidery on here, and that requires the free arm. So this is really cool about the Designer Epic 3. This table comes off. You lift here in the back and then push it this direction. Comes right off. And I can grab my jeans and hoop it up, slide it over my free arm, under the foot, get that out of the way, and I can embroider here without having to unstitch my side seams, which is really nice. So that's a cool thing in embroidery mode. And then in sewing mode, there's another cool thing with the free arm. Let me open up our stitch selector to A5, stitch group A5. So it's utility stitches and then 8-way stitches. So right now, if we sew, it will go forward. This is the traditional stitch, stitching forward. And we're familiar with backwards. No big deal. But what about here, pointing left? Look at how the stitch changed. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see. See how that's going to the left now? Whoops. And it wants our S foot. That is because it's going to use the omni-motion, and it will stitch sideways. So it will stitch down the leg of the pants like this. That's how I got that rickrack on there, was the sideways stitching. Since we're here, I'll also show you diagonal stitching. See how it comes down here like this? You could use that if you wanted to sew the pocket on here. It would stitch along diagonal, make it easy. I mean, you can bring it around here and sew it straight, but wouldn't it be easier if it was already helping you go diagonal a little bit? So that's really fun. Let me put it back on straight. Okay. And then one more thing I wanted to show you. I am in the process of making, I think this would be great for a dorm room. I have made rugs before, and I even made a blanket one time out of this. I'm going back to the other camera. This is an upcycled denim rug or blanket, depending how big you made it. So I've got on this side a flannel sheet that's cut up. On this side, I've got the denim. And I used several different colors for this one. This one here is the same colors, but then, so you stitch it together with the seams on the outside, and then you cut them and it frays. A lot of you may have seen Shabby Chic before. This is along the same lines. So after I put this through the washer, this will fray like crazy, and it will get that soft look to it. Make sure you clean out your lint trap, both in your washer and your dryer. Your washer has one, I think it's called a screen in your washer. But make sure you clean that out so that you don't get a big old plug in there. All right. So here's how it started. We took 2 pieces of denim and 2 pieces of flannel and sewed them with the flannel sandwiched inside. Then open it up. I pressed the seam open. I used 1/2-inch seams on here. I used 3/4-inch seams on here, and I think I like this better. This is going to be a little more shaggy. I think I'm going to like that. But then we match them up, and we stitch right through this. Our Designer Epic, honestly, any of our Viking machines are going to sew through these layers like butter. Put your denim needle in there and go. And then on the outside edge, when it's all done, I have the cuff of the bed sheet, which has eyelet. This makes it a little more feminine in my opinion. So this, I think guys or gals would like this. But if you want it just a little more feminine, I'm going to add this border. Maybe I'll look, yeah, like that. And so this will be turned up here, and it'll be shabby fraying along the edge. So stay tuned. That one's coming up in my trunk show at some point. And we have 2 minutes left. I want to make sure I checked about, let me switch the camera here. Back to me. Amy, are there any other upcoming lives I need to tell them about? And I'll just check my notes here. Okay, so we talked about pulsating needle force, 150 newtons, versus the smaller machines, which have 90 newtons. So a lot more piercing power to go through your layers. Denim needles, they're going to be sharper, they're going to be thicker. You won't break one every 20 minutes, unlike if you were using a weaker needle. Creativate projects. There are some free and some premium projects on Creativate that will be great for upcycling denim. There is a fabric lanyard. There's 2 different backpacks. One is a drawstring backpack, and the other is a backpack with a flap. And there's 2 sizes of the one with a flap. So one for your big kids, one for your little kids. There is there's an organizer which comes in 2 sizes. One for the wall, and then one that folds up that you can take with you for travel or to classes, whatever. There is a laptop bag pattern and a zipper pouch. So those are available on Creativate. And I am looking at the comments here, I'm looking at the private chat. There we go. The next Husqvarna Viking Live will be Wednesday, August 20th at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, with Ambassador Anastasia, who will be showing you how to make a zero waste skirt in any size. Waste, W-A-S-T-E, no leftovers. So it's eco-friendly. And then the next My Sewnet Live will be Tuesday, August 12th, with Mickey Hudson, and she's going to help you navigate the Creativate website. We all know that the name changed from My Sewnet to Creativate, and not too much changed, but she'll show you what did. And then how to use the vault. That is an expanded, improved storage solution. It's really good. She's going to tell you all about it. And she will also share tips on how to import fonts into your software a little quicker than what we've maybe done in the past. She's got some good tips for you, so that'll be good. All right. Does anyone have any questions? I don't see any. Let me look here. Okay, I don't see any now, but I will be going and looking through the comments later to see if you have any questions. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.